that's great. That leads me into my next question, which is when you meet with people, what immediate problems do they have from the clutter? And I want some specific examples. What have you seen people having immediate trouble with? And then what long-term problems come out of living in clutter?
Well, some of the things that immediately come to mind, and they all have a central theme, is frustration. A lot of our clients they come to us because the frustration is just, it's too much for them. They finally got to that breaking point, and we have one guest that, we have one client that they couldn't get out the door, and it was affecting their business. They were missing business meetings and sales calls and things like that. And it was literally because they didn't have a place to put their keys. And they spend 15, 20 minutes looking for their keys when they only had budgeted 2 seconds of time to find their keys, inevitably making them late and missing the meetings. Those meetings then directly affected their sales reports, and then they didn't meet their sales goals. And so one of the breaking points was coming to us because they had to meet those sales goals. And so getting them onto the right track and figuring out a way to focus on the goals that they had and set up a game plan so that they could achieve those in a measurable fashion. And another thing, we had one of our clients that came to us, and they actually didn't come to us for a long time because they were afraid of losing their creativity, and they were a writer, and I thrive in a chaotic environment. And how many times do we hear that? With especially people who are writers or musicians or artists or just freelance business people, and they tend to. So this one client was apprehensive, and then finally, after coming to us, we were able to set up a plan and a work environment, and now they are succeeding and getting things published and and those are the goals that they had set for themselves at the beginning, which is why they got into the business in the first place.
Good. Any long-term effects?
Well, and then with that, those constant losing your time, losing your items, losing money because you forgot to pay a bill. So all of those things ultimately can cause day-to-day stress and frustration. When those amplify over the course of a year, then you are going to have, poor nutrition, just physically and emotionally draining, and you're just not going to have fun in life.
It's not well, actually, I put together a training class called Happiness in the Workplace. It was actually a de-stressing work or class, for sure. And it was exactly that, what Laura was saying. The long-term effects cause serious havoc to your overall well-being. So ultimately resulting in, heart attack. And people say, oh, no, that's no way, no way. But you would be surprised how much stress actually wears on your physical well-being.
And I don't think medicine, I don't even think medicine really is beginning to understand what stress does. I mean, could stress be the cause of cancer? Could it cause all heart attacks? I mean, really, those questions are unanswered. And until people start to realize that their emotions and their emotional state affects their physical well-being, that's when people will start to really make these changes.
It's such a domino effect.
It really is.
If your day is really stressful, chances are you're going to not go exercise or work out, not eat healthy, not go spend time with your family. And these are the things that are all ultimately, in majority of people's lives, these are the things that are most important. Your health, your well-being, your sanity, your family, and your relationships, your friends and family together. And having a lot of clutter really affects your relationships, whether the other person is cluttered or not. If you are a cluttered person living with someone who is not as cluttered, that can cause a lot of havoc, or vice versa. But even in a situation where both of you are kind of going status quo, it chips away at you if you constantly are overworked at the workplace and not spending time at home, not having consistent family dinners, things like that.
And overall, your happiness is not, you don't have any life happiness, you know. And so I always tell my family, choose happiness, boys and girls. Choose happiness.
Well, I'm gonna put Wendi on the spot. Our listeners will be surprised to know. I don't know if they'll be surprised to know. Wendi is the mother of 3 boys. And Wendi lives with her boys and her husband in a space that's around 800 square feet. So as we're talking about this decluttering and as we're talking about systems, I think, yeah, I can do it. But what about my kids? Because if I clean it in 6 minutes, there's stuff everywhere. So Wendi, can you give us some real life specific tips of how we can, with our children, keep our homes a little more streamlined?
Yes, absolutely. You know, I found that the best systems that have worked for my children are putting things at their level. The hooks. I mean, we've got a closet for coats and backpacks and things, but it never gets there because they can't hang them up. It's too tall, too high. So I've actually put 2 sets of hooks, one for their backpack, one for their coats and the snow pants, right at their level. So I can say, okay, boys, go hang up your coats. And they're not on the floor when I turn around and look again, you know. If they had to go to the closet, it'd be on the floor.
Sure.
They just can't reach it.
That sounds like a technical problem, right?
Technical. It is. It's technical, absolutely. But we're like, oh, why isn't your coat hung up, you know? And we never think they can't reach it, you know, or you just get mad because it's not hung up. So,
well, and how nice is it that you're teaching them those habits at such a young age, too?
Right.
That's true.
And it is. It's a process. You have to teach it, too, and stay on them. But, you know, a lot of times it's going through your toys and really which ones are out of date. Which ones aren't your kids playing with? You know, people think, oh, my kids, I mean, I see it all the time where we go over to kids' houses, and they've got so many toys. I'm like, really? Which toys do your kids play with all the time? And you can see it. I mean, those are the ones that are usually out, and they don't have a home anymore because all the other ones have filled it, right? Filled that hole. And so it's going through, and it's donating any toys that really don't fit your kids' needs.